It's Tubby of the Nerdy Bird site here. Had the opportunity to sit down with my homegirl, Toon of Gonzalez. Right now, we're going to kick the reel thanks to the antidote.com. Take an opportunity to kind of brush up on some of the things that are happening around us on a real serious tip. A lot of controversy right now with the NFL and a lot of things that are being misconstrued, misunderstood, or miscommunicated so far as the protests go. A lot of people feeling like the original issue is being lost. Donald Trump coming out and saying that certain athletes should be fired for their freedom, their right to execute their right to protest. You have Jamel Hill going under fire for her courageousness so far as relaying certain bouts into the industry of what's going on with our athletes. How do you feel as a black woman in America knowing that a lot of these things directly affect you? As a parent to two young black boys in America, knowing that you have to fear certain things on their behalf, how does this protest and all of the controversy that's coming along with it making you feel as an artist?
I think it's 2017, like race shouldn't even still exist anymore. But I mean, like, it's something that's not gonna never end. But it's sad that we even still have to go through it. And as far as like the NFL, like I kind of respect it a little bit, like you taking a stand in what you believe in. And as far as Trump, like I think he worried about the wrong thing right now. I think they got other stuff going on around the world. Puerto Rico don't have no lights and nothing. Like you worry about who on the kneel or not. So priorities is
shut now. So, knowing that that is something, unfortunately, like you said, race relations should not be something that we're currently dealing with in 2017, but I tell people all the time, it's post-racial as a society as we are. The world is very much so black and white. We can pretend like we live in the world of color, but the world is very much so black and white. So I agree with you. I do think it's disheartening to even have to deal with this type of thing right now, but it won't go away. It's completely relevant, and until we deal with it, whether that be us as a people, the NFL as a group, or the presidentship in his whole being, it won't go away. So, and that kind of trickles down right here into our local news. We recently are receiving updates, and I know that you're not exactly from the Baton Rouge area, but being right down in the outskirts in Gonzales, you directly get a lot of the influence so far as what happens in the capital city. But right now we're kind of knocking on the door for some of the highest murder rate numbers that we've ever seen in the history of being a capital city. How does that make you feel, knowing that you put yourself in a position every day to be a business-minded woman, to be an entrepreneur, and you're putting yourself out there for the public to to be tangible to the public? Do you ever find yourself in fear, knowing that you could very much so be a victim of something that has nothing to do with you, or walk into a line of fire, or anything, just because you are in the position that you're in?
Yeah, it's paranoia sometimes, like to shine like a little bit, because like people, they don't like to see that, and it's crazy because I feel like just like I'm shining, like you can shine, like what I'm saying. I seen somebody shining, let me shine a little bit harder, but it's like we don't have to be in competition. I think you can't even blame it on jobs no more, because like if they offer, I see buildings getting built every day, like it's either you gonna do it or you're not gonna do it. The hate. I just think the hate gotta chill, man. Like y'all burying somebody's child, somebody have to bury their child, you know what I'm saying? Who was it? They could have been a father, they could have been a mother, a sister, cousin, like nobody think about none of that. And I don't respect it at all, like as far as the music and all that, ain't no way in the world all y'all done killed that many people, but like
behind their ability to express themselves, I feel like communication becomes that barrier between life and death. And it shouldn't even be so. Communication should be the barrier between enlightenment and understanding. But communication is ultimately becoming the fine line between life and death, and that's a scary thing, that a person can simply misunderstand where you're coming from and it'll be prompted to take your life for it.
That quick.
Right.
And it's not fair. Like this, it's just not fair. I don't understand.
It makes you feel, it's an eerie feeling. It's a topic that makes you uncomfortable. And that's why we keep it real and we talk about it here, because we are the heart of the people around us. We do get to become the voices because they can't
speak. I don't know if it's music have people feeling like killing is raw, like it's something that you do, but it's like it's not what you do.
I think a lot of times when you think about music and the culture of murder, when you talk about self-expression, a lot of artists talk about what they've seen and what they've experienced. They aren't necessarily speaking on what they're doing right now.
Right.
And as an adolescent, as a person that really doesn't understand the world, as a person that's listening lyrically for what you're giving me outside of the deeper meaning behind it, I take it literally. So when you say somebody come at me in this kind of manner, I lay in bed, that becomes the mentality. If a nigga come play with me like this, or if a person step to me in this manner, or they do this certain thing, this should be my reaction, because in the culture of who we are, this is what's accepted. They don't understand that I'm saying where I grew up, what I've come through. This is the kind of stuff I see. I see somebody walking on somebody and gun somebody down because they felt played. I'm not saying that that's okay. I'm not saying that it should be that way. I'm saying that this is my reality.
Yeah, Baton Rouge is like 20 minutes from where I'm from. Like, it's not that far. Like, killing is everywhere. Like, you know what I'm saying? It's everywhere. It ain't gonna stop. And it's sad that some people have to feel like, you know, I gotta have a gun because if I don't, this one give me. But like, nowadays you gotta like
Protect yourself.
Yeah, you have to protect yourself, man. So I mean,
and you got it right as a human to protect yourself. And I just hope that people can get a little bit better, whether that be with the music. And that's why I respect your music so much, because you can still have fun, you can still be culturally inclined, and let everybody know a lot about who we are, what we see, and how we feel. But you don't promote violence. And when you do drop little bouts about violence, you can understand it for what it is. So I think that that's cool. And now coming into something that's a little bit lighter, knowing that you're not too far outside of Baton Rouge, I know that you're here a lot. Southern's homecoming is coming up, Southern University, shout out to the Jags. That has become like a cultural staple for the city when it comes down to homecoming. How do you feel about homecoming? Was that good or bad? How do you feel so far as it giving you an option to actually be among some of your fans? Like, what does Southern's homecoming mean for you as an artist?
Lord, y'all.
Be careful of it.
Yeah, they are. It's lit though. Like every time I went out there, man, you see people from all over, like literally. You get to interact. I do interact with a lot of new people. Be out there supporting the Jags, man.
A lot of family-friendly stuff going on out there. Very
turning up, lituated badly.
Now, can fans expect you to be out there this year, or are you going to be tied up in the studio? Because we know that you're always working too.
Yeah, I'm going to tie myself up in the studio. I'm going to support them from a distance.
That's what's up. That's what's up. Now, before we get to close, we're going to play a little game that a good friend of mine suggested a while back. The game is called Association. Basically, what will happen is I'll call out a variety of names, whether that be artists, events, places, whatever. You name it, whatever comes to my mind. You have about 3 seconds to drop a word that you feel like best associates that person, place, event, or thing. You down to play?
Yeah.
Now, I'm going to try to think of something crazy because I know you're going to be funny. But just because I want to think of something, it's not going to work. But I'm ready when you're ready.
I'm ready.
All right, Donald Trump.
Hell no.
Look at the music.
My grandma told me I'm the one bigger than you know.
That's what's up. Lil Win the Champ.
Grinding.
TheAntidote.com.
Hot, man, you understand me? Check it out, because I'm on that too. You understand me?
The Bando.
The Bando. Tracking out. Bando. Catch it.
Gun Time.
225, man. I'm putting on. You understand me, love?
Team Toon.
Telling me you love me, that don't mean nothing. Telling me you love me, gotta really show me. Gotta treat me like somebody.
See, I can't do that, but I can pretend I can. Alright, Jamel Hill.
Respect.
Big shout out, big shout out. Colin Kaepernick.
Turn.
And last but not least, we'll wrap it up with Southern University.
Then yard, oh Lord.
Be careful on that yard.
The Jags, man.
It has been a complete pleasure to sit down with you, Miss Toon, and to chop it up, have a little fun with you.
I have.
To let everybody kind of see exactly who you are and what you're working on, let them see your personality. Make sure you come back. We'd love to have you when you get ready to drop your stuff in 2018. You guys make sure you tune in right here with Tubbi of the Dirty Bird site and theantidote.com for more exclusives.